The following program is transcribed from an earlier network broadcast.
And now, Dick Tracy!
This is Dick Tracy on the case of the deadly tip-off. Stand by for action. Let's go, men.
Yes, it's Dick Tracy, protector of law and order.
Do you Tracy fans know what botany is? Well, it's the science dealing with plants and plant life. Now, you may wonder why people bother studying about plants. You may wonder what possible use that information may have. Well, for one thing, it results in better food for you to eat. Just one example would be the development of oranges that give more juice. And if you give the subject more thought, you'll probably find other commercial uses for botany, uses in producing trees that supply certain types of wood, or in new species of flowers. So you see, there are definite practical uses for the science of botany. Well, here's proof that botanists themselves are respected in the world of science. Asa Gray, whose 137th birthday anniversary is observed today, started out as a doctor. He received a degree as Doctor of Medicine when he was 21. But soon after, he became interested in botany. And during his lifetime, he became a leading authority on the subject. So respected was Asa Gray that for 10 years, he, a botanist, was president of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Yes, not only is botany a practical science, but it's also a respected one.
And now, Dick Tracy.
Yesterday, Benton Malice was electrocuted as he attempted to throw the switch on the oncoming super streamer. And his butler, Wormser Crawley, was brought to justice for his part in the train wrecks. And so, Dick Tracy and Pat Patton have concluded the case of the Honorable Mr. Malice. But yesterday, we met a new threat to law and order. The international gangster Bellicosi and his henchman Ringer, who made illegal entry into the country aboard a submarine. As they landed on a lonely hunk of beach, they were accosted by a Coast Guardsman.
What's the trouble, Goldilocks? The war is over. Stop trying to get a medal.
Take it easy, Mac. It's my job to patrol this hunk of beach and ask questions.
What do you want to know, sailor?
How come you beat your boat on this hunk of sand?
Just a whim.
That's no answer.
We were fishing and got lost.
Uh-huh. Well, we'll see.
Keep away from that boat, fella. Just because you're in the Coast Guard don't make you the FBI, you know.
Just keep talking while I shine my light on the boat. I like to hear you.
I thought the Coast Guard was supposed to help out fishermen in distress, not treat them like criminals.
If you fellas are fishermen, where's your gear?
What do you mean?
What do you think I mean? Where's your fishing poles and hooks and bait? Or maybe you catch fish by sticking your pinky in the water.
You're a very funny fella. Always like a man with a sense of humor.
And how about these suitcases? They must have cost hundreds of dollars apiece. You take them fishing with you always?
Now he's taking inventory. What's it to you what we take out in the boat?
Oh, just natural curiosity.
Well, try and get over it. It ain't healthy.
And there's one other little point. You always go fishing dressed up like high tea at the Waldorf?
There you go again, asking questions.
I also have a gun.
You'll also be in a lot of trouble when I get to your commanding officer. You've certainly exceeded your authority trying to manhandle a couple of honest citizens like us.
Well, we're going to settle all of that right now. We're on the way to see my commanding officer.
Suppose we say no.
I don't think you will. But if necessary, I can put you under arrest. Now get the bags out of the boat. The commander might be interested in seeing them.
Carry them yourself.
The more you guys talk, the more I think there's something fishy about you. And I don't mean with fins.
What about the boat?
We'll haul her up the beach a bit. The tide's going out. Later, I'll have some of the fellas take her down to the station.
I doubt it. Get the bags, Ringer.
Okay, boss. Hey, shine your light over here, will you, sailor? There's water in the bottom of the boat.
Anything at all to keep you happy. Hey, you, stay where you are.
I wasn't going no place.
Sure, I know. But nevertheless, I had the funny feeling that you were trying to get behind me. Yeah, that's funny.
What's funny?
I thought I heard a car stop. There's a little dirt road over the dunes, but I never heard any traffic on it this time of night.
I didn't hear nothing.
Might have been a Coast Guard jeep. Does no one do anything?
I tell you, you're off your rock. I didn't hear nothing.
Hey, stop waving that light around. I can't see what I'm doing.
Come on. Hurry it up with those suitcases.
Take it easy, Sally. You're not at Grand Central Station. These things are heavy.
Full of fish, huh?
No, the little one's full of plutonium. We're going to build atom bombs.
Very funny. What's in the others?
The crown jewels. George gave them to me to keep till the wedding blows over.
You know, for your sake, I hope the commander thinks you're funnier than I do.
Oh, he'll love us.
Come on, get that stuff out of there. We got a long hike down the beach.
All right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hey, am I supposed to carry them all?
That's between you and this fat guy you call a boss.
You heard the sailor say it was a long walk. Pick them up.
Now, wait a minute. I don't think I can handle them all.
You'll carry them or get fractured.
Well, you better start fracturing, boss.
Come on, will you hurry up? Both of you pick up the bags. We're moving out of here.
No, we're not.
Hey, I'm not kidding around with you two any longer.
You're so right. In fact, you won't be kidding around with nobody no more. Take a look at an old friend of mine who's standing right behind you.
You don't think I'm sucker enough to fall for that old gag, do you?
I always believe in giving the guy a sporting chance. See, in a way, you're right about us. We don't belong in this country. We just come ashore from a submarine.
Hey, what's your pitch now? I don't get it.
No, pitch, I'm on the level. We've just smuggled some valuable goods ashore. And I might modestly say that the most valuable is a fellow named Bellicosi. That's me.
Hey, maybe you're not kidding. Get your hands up.
Sure. Put your hands up, Ringer.
All right.
And I could get a big promotion.
Sure, but you forget about the guy behind you. He's got a Tommy gun. He's here to meet me and shoot you.
Come on now, start walking or I'll be the one to do the shooting.
You're a fool. You refuse good advice. You may fire when ready, Ryder. That's enough, Ryder. He's got his promotion.
Boy, was I glad to see you. This guy had us over a barrel.
You were late, Ryder. Everything could have been ruined.
Listen, Bellicosi, when I got the wireless message from the sub, I come right here. I got a flat tire down the road about 5 miles.
And we got into the United States Coast Guard. Hey, what are we going to do with the Admiral here?
Take him back to the submarine and tell Verminelli I want him buried at sea.
With honors?
I'm not particular, but tell Verminelli to include about 300 pounds of shot. I don't want this body around where somebody can see it.
Okay, boss, I'll do it. Hey, that was a good act we put on over carrying the bags, huh? Stalling so that Ryder here could get in a position for a shot.
It wasn't just an act. You'd have carried the bags or else. Get this stiff out to the sub and meet me later at Ryder's.
Well, suppose I meet some more Coast Guard.
You won't if you hurry. They won't be checking on the Sea Scout here for a couple of hours.
Okay. Give me a hand with the boat and the body, huh?
Help him, Ryder.
Come on.
Okay.
Lift him up, Ryder.
Yeah, I got it.
Into the boat. There you are. Push me into the water.
Hold it into the surf till he gets the motor started.
And I'm getting soaked.
Shut up and do as you're told. All right, Ryder. Pick up the bags and we'll get to the car.
Something I got to tell you first. Some news come over the radio tonight.
No, kid, that's a surprise. I thought they'd given the thing up as impractical.
I'm not making gigs. You remember Slim Chance, the radio commentator?
Sure, I remember him. He was one of the jerks responsible for getting me deported.
Well, tonight he was on the air, coast to coast.
So what?
So he says something about an unconfirmed rumor about you getting yourself smuggled back into the States on a submarine that belongs to your international organization.
What? You're crazy. How could he know?
All I did tonight was listen to a radio broadcast. Beyond that, I don't know nothing.
Who could have tipped him off? I gotta know. Couldn't have been Harry. Who else did I tell? Chimp. Nah.
Hey, how about your old girl?
Yeah, that could be the one. I sent her word how I was coming. Molly Kuehl. I think I'll pay her a little visit tomorrow.
Yeah, well, what about that Slim Chance? Now that the whole country knows you're here, you might just as well get back on that submarine.
Not yet. He said an unconfirmed rumor, didn't he? Well, we'll get him to say it was all wrong.
Yeah, suppose he don't.
Then I'll kill him.
The following afternoon, we find Dick Tracy and Pat Patton at Dick's office in headquarters.
What are you writing, Pat?
Another detective story?
See, that isn't a bad idea. But at the moment, I'm working on my Christmas list.
Good. Have you got down to the T's yet?
Mm-hmm. How do you like this? Fort Tracy. Imitation police whistle, a pogo stick, an Irish mail.
That'd be you, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Well, for the moment, let's put the list away. I'm expecting a visitor.
Yeah, who?
Slim Chance, the radio commentator.
Oh, he's a good man. I listen to him whenever I get the chance.
Well, it looks as if you were going to get it right now. Come in.
I'm Slim Chance. Dick Tracy?
That's right. Won't you come in and sit down?
Thank you.
This is Pat Patton.
How are you?
He's an admirer of yours, like I am.
Pleased to meet you, Pat. And thanks for the nosegay.
Well, why were you so anxious to see me?
Well, I'll tell you, Dick. I have a peculiar hunch that I'm going to be killed.
Oh, you should watch those heavy foods before you go to bed. They're murder. Good one.
Very funny. But this isn't a lobster, beer, and ice cream dream. Here, read this, Dick.
Okay. Bellicosi is still abroad and intends to stay there. Make the retraction on your next broadcast. You owe this to your public, your family, and yourself. Signed, Jimsy Boy. Who's that?
Well, there's no such person, of course. But you notice that family and yourself are underlined in the letter.
Yes, I see.
And I take that as a threat against my life, and maybe my loved ones.
Oh, I think you may be taking things a little too seriously. What'd you say about Bellicosi on the air?
Well, I said that there was an unconfirmed report that he would enter the country from a submarine.
Well, bless my radiant personality. Is that true?
I believe it is.
Who gave you the information?
Well, I can't tell you that, Dick, but I think it's the real thing.
By not telling us all you know, you're making it impossible for us to help you.
I'd like to tell you, Dick, but I promise not to reveal my source of information. And it's part of a good reporter's creed to respect the confidence. Anyhow, if my information is correct, I'm in real danger, and I'm counting on you to protect me.
All right, Slim, I'll assign a detective to cover you for a few days. But that's all we can do right now, officially.
Well, what about my family, my wife?
Well, your home is outside of the city's jurisdiction, but I'll arrange protection for them, too. You won't have to worry on that score.
Oh, thanks, Dick. But I'd be happier if you'd work on this personally.
That's up to the chief. But in the meantime, there are no regulations against Pat and me coming to your broadcast tonight.
In a moment, we'll return to Dick Tracy. But first, Tracy fans, if you've ever seen any of the movies starring Bing Crosby and Barry Fitzgerald, I'm sure that you'll look forward to hearing tomorrow night's Bing Crosby show. You see, Barry Fitzgerald will be Bing's special guest, and together they'll reenact the scene of their first meeting. It'll be a little fantasy in which Barry shows that he's really a leprechaun, a little Irish pixie. That not only is he 3,000 years old, but that he's also destined to live forever. As a musical treat at the end of this whimsical sketch, Bing will sing Tooraloo-Loo. Also on the musical side of the show, in addition to several other Crosby songs, young Metropolitan Opera soprano Dorothy Kirsten will sing Romany Life from Victor Herbert's popular operetta, The Fortune Teller. And in encore, she'll blend her voice with Bing's in another Victor Herbert favorite, Indian Summer. Yes, for delightful comedy and wonderful music, be sure not to miss tomorrow night's Bing Crosby Show, guest starring Barry Fitzgerald and Dorothy Kirsten. Remember the exact time for the Bing Crosby Show? It's on the air over most of these same ABC stations tomorrow night at 10 in the East and 9 o'clock everywhere else. And now, back to Dick Tracy.
Turn the radio on, Ringer. I don't want to miss Slim Chance tonight.
What's he going to say?
He's going to tell a breathless America that I'm not here.
But Slim Chance is going to say no such thing. And Bellicosi has sworn to kill him if he doesn't make the retraction. Better be sure to tune in tomorrow for The Adventures of Dick Tracy. Produced by Charles Powers and heard overseas through the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is George Gunn speaking. The various countries of the world may have a difficult time understanding each other's customs, but there's one thing every nation understands about another. Music. I'm talking, of course, about a country's great music. The kind the Boston Symphony Orchestra presents in its weekly Tuesday night concerts. This famous orchestra plays the music of all lands, the works of composers in America or Great Britain, in France, Germany, Russia, Poland, Italy, Norway, to name just a few.
Music has always played an important role in portraying the national life and culture of a nation. Don't miss the Boston Symphony Orchestra broadcast tonight.
This program was transcribed. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
This program is transcribed from an earlier network broadcast.
And now, Dick Tracy!
This is Dick Tracy on the case of the deadly tip-off. Stand by for action. Let's go, men.
Yes, it's Dick Tracy, protector of law and order.
Before we join Dick Tracy, I'd like to tell you about an event that occurred exactly 84 years ago today during the war between the states. Earlier that year, a bloody battle had been fought in Pennsylvania. And because of the great number of men who had fallen on that Pennsylvania battlefield, it was decided to dedicate the ground as a national cemetery. Well, this was done in a very impressive ceremony, the anniversary of which we're observing today. The principal speaker at the dedication was Edward Everett, a distinguished orator of the time. The President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, also made a short speech, only about 300 words long. But as you all know, his short talk has in time come to be recognized as a great classic. President Lincoln began with the immortal words, 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation. Yes, Tracy fans, the Gettysburg Address. Listen to Lincoln's closing words and think how they apply to us now and to those who fell in the last war. We here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth.
And now, Dick Tracy.
Yesterday, Bellicosi, international gangster and undesirable alien, smuggled himself, his assistant ringer, and 4 suitcases full of contraband ashore on a lonely strip of beach. He got around the Coast Guard problem by the simple expedient of murdering the sailor whose duty it was to patrol that part of the shore. But there was bad news awaiting the gangster. He learned that Slim Chance, big-time radio reporter, had been on the air with the news that he, Bellicosi, had made illegal entry into the United States. Since this disclosure would ruin all of his plans, Bellicosi determined to send Slim Chance a friendly note demanding a complete denial. And it was this note signed Jimsy Boy that Slim Chance later brought to Dick Tracy. Right now, Dick and Pat are on their way to Slim Chance's broadcast.
Dick, why are we going to Slim Chance's broadcast tonight?
Oh, I'm curious to hear what he says, Pat.
You could do that sitting right here in the car through the wonders of radio. Or hadn't you heard about the invention?
It was mentioned to me once or twice, I believe.
Say, that was a fishy-sounding story that Slim Chance told us this afternoon.
You think so, Pat?
We're sure. All he had was a letter signed by Jimsy Boy. So what's that? Nothing but a crank writing in.
But the letter did tell him to retract his statement that Bellicosi had entered the country illegally.
We're sure, but it didn't threaten to kill him, as Slim Chance claimed.
No, not in so many words, but the threat was certainly there.
Well, maybe, but then why wouldn't he tell us where he got the information about Bellicosi getting into the country?
Oh, it's sort of a code with newspaper men and radio commentators. They protect their sources of information.
That's all well and good. But he doesn't mind coming and asking us to guard his life and then refuse to give us the information that would help us to do it.
It is somewhat paradoxical.
You know what I think? I think that Bellicosi is nowhere near this country. I think that Slim Chance pulled a blooper and doesn't want to retract it. So now he thinks if the word got around that the great Dick Tracy was protecting him, it would make him look like a hero.
I might believe that sort of thing of some people, Pat, but not of Slim Chance. No, he's as right a guy as they come. And not afraid to throw his weight around for democracy and truth. I hope we can help him.
Oh, I didn't know you knew the guy that well. All right, we help him. How do we do it?
No answer to that one. Chief Brandon says he can't spare us as bodyguards, particularly when there's no evidence that the man's life is in danger.
Well, that leaves Slim Chance still on the hook.
Unfortunately, yes. But remember this, Pat. Slim Chance was one of the men most responsible for having Bellicosi deported from the country.
That's right. He kept hammering at it over the radio until the immigration authorities had to take some action.
And it seems a pity that was the only thing that could be done with Bellicosi. Every police department in the country knew that he was head of the rackets and a murderer, but they couldn't lay a finger on him.
No, he was too cagey.
And there was never any evidence that could be proved against him.
Well, what if he did succeed in getting back into the country? What could we do?
Nothing much, Pat. If he's caught, he gets turned over to the immigration authorities and tossed back out on his ear.
Yeah, but if he could get his old gang started again, he could cause a lot of trouble.
Plenty. Step it up, Pat. I don't want to miss the broadcast.
And while Tracy and Patton are rushing to Slim Chance's broadcast, two rather formidable characters, gangsters and pals of Bellicosi, are turning on their radio to listen to the same broadcast.
Hey, you're too soon, Ryder. It ain't time for Slim Chance yet.
So maybe we get a little music first.
Hey, that ain't bad. Shall we dance, huh?
Ringer, you've been abroad too long.
Well, that ain't saying it's not good to get back.
Yeah, Bellicosi's lapping it up, too.
Yeah, he sure is. But I think maybe he's having too good a time. He should be more careful. When he goes out, he'll get spotted, and they'll toss him right out of the country again.
Yeah, maybe they know he's here from Slim Chance's broadcast last night.
Well, unless he's pretty stupid, Slim's gonna say that ain't true tonight.
Yeah, but supposing he is pretty stupid, then what?
Then you and I are gonna beat the living daylights out of him right after the broadcast. That ought to convince him to talk like Bellicosi says.
So maybe we get some exercise today, huh?
Yeah, maybe. You know, I can't figure out how this guy Slim Chance found out that Bellicosi was sneaking back into the country. Why, he even knew that he was getting off a submarine.
Bellicosi thinks maybe Molly Kuhl tipped it off.
Yeah, that could have been what happened, all right. I always said you should never trust a dame.
I think Bellicosi's going to pay her a little call later.
I'd hate to be in her shoes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but Bellicosi always did have it soft for that girl, but she just couldn't see him.
You know, I think she's one of the reasons he sneaked back into the country.
Yeah, that's right. Her and about $3 million a year profit in an international smuggling ring he's got set up. I tell you, Bellicosi's a bigger operator now than he ever was.
No kidding.
No kidding. He's got the whole world to work in, and he's got some organization. Now, take that submarine that brought us to the country. Not bad, huh?
No. Hey, where's the sub now?
Fooling around out in the ocean, away from the shipping lanes. All Bellicosi has to do is radio it in code, and it'll rendezvous.
Hey, that's pretty slick.
Yeah, and that sub is loaded with goods. Bellicosi's gonna bring it in as soon as he's had a chance to kind of look the field over. There must be $1 million worth of contraband on board.
Wow.
You can say that again.
Wow.
Shut up. And that's why Bellicosi don't want no flannel-mouthed radio commentators spilling about his being here. And that's why we're going to see to it that Slim Chance reads this retraction over the air. You know, like we told him in the letter signed Jimsy Boy.
Yeah, I wonder now, will he do it tonight?
Well, let's get the station and find out.
Sure. For the love of Mike, Dick, what's this glass enclosed cage we're in now?
It's called the client's booth, Pat.
My. Easy chairs and everything. Aren't we going to listen to the broadcast in style?
I want you to have only the best, Patrick. Oh, there's Slim Chance inside. He sees us.
Yeah. Say, what's that little room over there off the studio with the glass front?
Oh, that's the control room.
Oh.
You see that fellow sitting in there in front of the control board?
Yeah.
Well, that's the engineer. He's a mighty important man in broadcasting. And he's got to keep on his toes every second they're on the air.
Oh, what about that other guy in there with him? This skinny one that's biting his fingernails.
Oh, he's the director.
What does he do?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Must be interesting work.
Well, Pat, it seems to be a law of nature that an organism that pulls its own weight also has to support a parasite. In the woods, it's a malignant vine living off a tall tree. In radio, it's that skinny guy with his fingers in his mouth.
Hey, Dick, I think something's going to happen. That director fella's getting ready to stick somebody with his finger, I think. How do we fix it so we can hear Slim Chance?
I think one of these buttons on this table will do it.
That got us nowhere. Try another one. Quick, Slim's just about to start talking.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Slim Chance bringing you hot off the griddle news. Juicy items done to a turn, but with no sweetening added. Here's a reminder to the immigration authorities. Last night I stated that a certain rat named Bellicosi had entered the country illegally. Although this item remains still unconfirmed, something happened subsequent to my broadcast last night that puts it a little out of the rumor class. At least it does to this radio voice. To the authorities, I say, let's not take a chance, fellows. Find the fat gangster and throw him out of our country again. Does this answer your note, Jimsy boy?
What'd you turn him off for?
I'd like to go back to headquarters, Pat.
Well, do you think there's some truth in the Bellicosi thing, then?
Well, we don't know anything, Pat. I just want to be at headquarters in case the detective we have covering Slim Chance makes a report.
But why don't I tail him, too?
No, you're too well known, Pat. Anyway, Chief Brandon put a good man on the job. Well, let's go. I'll call Slim later so he won't think we walked out on him.
Yeah, let's... Hey, look at that director fella now. Looks as if he's getting ready to fire a writer. I guess they don't need him anymore.
Okay, Ryder. Now you know what to do.
Yeah, sure.
When Slim Chance comes out of the Heron Club, pull this taxi up and we'll take him aboard. If he don't get in our cab, he'll get in Freddy's, who's right behind us.
Hey, what about that copper that's tailing him?
All taken care of. He'll get nowhere. Hey, you ready?
Yeah.
I think that's Slim Chance coming out. Now wait till the doorman whistles for you. They're talking. Okay, this looks like it.
Hi, you're a fast man at getting taxis, Mike. Here you are.
Oh, thanks, Master Chance.
Thanks a lot.
All right, lie back in the cab, Slim Chance. I've got a gun on you. Get going, Ryder. Hey, who are you? In the manner of speaking, I'm Jimsy boy.
Well, crawl back into the wall and tell Bellicosi to pull it in after you.
Hey, Ringer, I just seen that cop who was guarding this guy get in the cab and follow us. I seen it in the rear mirror.
Now, would you mind stopping and letting me out? You don't want the whole police force down on you, do you?
We're not worrying. Look back there. You see that other cab taking off after your detective friend?
Yeah, I do.
Well, that's my boy, Freddy. You watch him run interference.
Come on, Freddy boy, take him out.
You tend to your drive, and I'll watch the floor show. Oh, nice going. He'll have him in a minute now. All right, let's drag ourselves out of here now that Slim's bodyguard has lost interest.
What are you going to do with me?
We're going to have a little talk. I figure maybe you didn't quite understand that note.
All right. Well, let's start now.
Don't hit me when you want.
Okay, fella. I lost my head.
Well, here's another for good behavior.
In a moment, we'll return to Dick Tracy. But first, one of the happier meetings in the show world occurred some years ago in a Pennsylvania town. The local theater, a comedian with a round and appealing face, Lou Costello, was scheduled to go on, but his partner was suddenly taken ill. And for a while, it looked like a catastrophe. And somebody had the idea of sending on another man, Bud Abbott, as Costello's partner. Well, that was the start of Abbott and Costello, who've been partners ever since. The basic pattern of each Abbott and Costello laugh riot over ABC every Wednesday night goes something like this. Bud gets Lou into trouble, Lou gets the laughs, and the listeners hear their favorites in new and funnier situations. Well, back to the fun front, however, Abbott and Costello have a tendency to take life seriously. Since the rise of juvenile delinquency, they have established a national youth center, the Lou Costello Junior Youth Foundation, named after Lou's infant son. The center promotes the health and good citizenship of boys and girls from all walks of life. Abbott and Costello's kind of humor appeals not only to these youngsters who idolize them, but to millions of adults as well. Have a listen tonight when Abbott and Costello are on the air on most of these ABC stations. And now, back to Dick Tracy.
It's about time that Barney checked back at headquarters.
Oh, he probably will in a minute or so. After all, it's only been an hour since he said that Slim Chance was at the Heron Club.
But that was an hour ago. I'd like to know where he is now.
And if Dick doesn't find out pretty soon, there may not be any Slim Chance to worry about. Better tune in tomorrow for The Adventures of Dick Tracy, written for radio by John Ray and Everett S. Crosby. And this is George Gunn speaking. Tonight, Bing Crosby will entertain as special guest star his mischievous movie companion, Barry Fitzgerald. And on the show, in a whimsical fantasy, Bing and Barry will reenact the scene of their first meeting. I'm sure that you'll enjoy this delightful sketch. You'll also hear from Dorothy Kirsten. Miss Kirsten, attractive Metropolitan Opera soprano,
will sing Victor Herbert's Romany Life, and she'll join with Bing in a duet of Indian Summer. Of course, Bing will be on hand with several solos. So, for wonderful entertainment, don't miss the Bing Crosby Show, guest starring Barry Fitzgerald and Dorothy Kirsten, broadcast over most of these same ABC stations tonight.
This program is transcribed. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
And now, Dick Tracy.
This is Dick Tracy on the case of the deadly tip-off. Stand by for action. Let's go, men.
Yes, it's Dick Tracy, protector of law and order.
We'll have Dick Tracy with us in exactly a minute and 10 seconds. But first, I wonder how many of you young Tracy fans have decided what you're going to do when you grow up. You know, the sooner you decide what you're going to be, the sooner you can make plans for it and then follow through. Take Raymond Schiff, for instance, who comes from New Rochelle, New York. Raymond decided while he was in high school that he wanted to be a nuclear physicist and work with atomic energy. This was back in 1942, before the atomic bomb was heard of. He wrote an essay on the future of atomic energy, and this essay earned him a 4-year scholarship to Harvard College, the school he wanted to attend. Of course, he studied physics there, and then in the summertime he worked with the Westinghouse researchers who were splitting the atom and studying it. After Raymond has done some more work in these laboratories, he'll go back to school for more training. But he's already rated as one of the nation's top young nuclear physicists. You know, it really doesn't matter what you want to be when you grow up. You first have to decide, and then you have to keep your eye on it constantly. That's the way that success is made.
And now, Dick Tracy.
Yesterday, Dick and Pat used every police trick at their command to find the missing Slim Chance, one of America's foremost radio commentators. They learned that he'd been snatched from the Heron Club in a mysterious taxi. But that was all. His subsequent whereabouts remained a deep secret to the two detectives. But not to Slim Chance, who had been driven out into the country by a couple of Bellicosi's thugs and had been given a severe beating, accompanied by the pointed instructions that when he next went on the air, he was to deny that Bellicosi had entered the country. Right now, Tracy and Patton are at headquarters, waiting for information on Slim Chance.
Tracy speaking. Yeah, go ahead. No report, eh? Well, it seems to me that someone on this force ought to be able to spot a green and yellow checkered cab with a known license number. Don't be sorry. Find me that cab. And throw out a wider dragnet for Slim Chance. Yes, put it on the teletype. Check all major train, air, and bus terminals. All right, but I want him found.
Say, Dick, you should try sleeping nights. Then maybe you wouldn't be so hard on the help.
No, I'm not intentionally being hard on anybody, Pat. If the facts were to slip out, I'm pretty worried about Slim Chance.
Yeah, I guess I know what you mean.
It seems hardly possible that the most famous radio commentator in the country can disappear for over 15 hours and we can't find a trace of him.
Say, tell me something. Do you think that Bellicosi snatched him?
I'm not thinking a thing until I get some lead on Slim.
Well, you know, the part that seems most ominous to me is that I'm sure Slim would have gotten in touch with us if he could.
Yes, that's just what's got me bothered. And that's why I'm not leaving this desk until Slim calls me or the boys turn up something.
And if it was Bellicosi or his gang that got to him, do you think they'd have murdered him?
I don't know, Pat. That crazy gangster might try anything. But I don't see how it would help him at the moment.
Well, whatever has happened to Slim Chance has certainly stirred up a furor. Say, tell me one thing. How did the papers get it?
Oh, the radio station and his sponsor. They're completely up in the air about the whole thing.
What'll they do if Slim Chance doesn't turn up?
Well, they probably have somebody ready to sub for him, but it's not the same thing.
Oh, it certainly is not.
Tracy speaking.
Listen, Dick, if you recognize me through my voice, don't mention my name over the phone.
At the moment, I don't recognize anything. Go on.
Does Jimsy Boy mean anything to you?
Jimsy Boy.
Jimsy Boy? That was the name signed to the threatening note that Slim Chance got.
Okay, Jimsy Boy, I've got you placed. Are you all right?
Well, in a manner of speaking. Listen, Dick, I can't come to you. Please get up here to Studio 8 on the double. I've got to talk to you before airtime. Do you know what I mean?
We're on our way. Let's go, Pat.
Who was it?
Slim Chance. He's at the broadcasting studio and due on the air in a few minutes.
I'm sorry, sir. No one's allowed in the studio.
It's all right, fellow. I'm Dick Tracy.
Oh, go right in, sir.
Thanks. Come on, Pat.
Right with you.
Dick, Pat, thank heaven you fellas got here.
Well, what happened to you?
Oh, I got beaten up.
Well, as a connoisseur of that sort of thing, I'd like to say they did a nice workmanlike job.
Yeah, I'd just as soon never have another one like it.
You ought to be in a hospital, Slim.
Well, my doctor's on the way over. I phoned him just after I got you.
What happened?
Well, I'll make it quick. When I left the Heron Club early this morning, I was picked up by the first cab. In it were 2 torpedoes, one driving and one in the back to keep me company.
Did you get their names?
Yeah, Ryder up front, Ringer in the back. They were a little dumb and called themselves by name.
Got it, Pat?
All down.
How about the cab that crashed into Detective Barney, who was guarding you?
Well, that was part of their scheme, Dick. They'd arranged for it.
Have we still got that driver in jail?
We certainly have, Dick.
Hold him.
Right.
What next?
Well, out to the country where I got that beating.
One thing. Did they change the license plate on their taxi?
Yes. They stopped on a dark street and did it. It was evidently all
I
prearranged.
thought as much. That's why the boys didn't spot the taxi. Who gave you the going over?
Mostly Ringer.
What do you want?
Oh, the same old thing. A retraction on my item about Bellicosi being in the country.
How'd you get away from them?
Well, I told them I'd do what they wanted me to. Then they left me out in the country.
But jumping Jiminy, Slim, you're not going on the air with that.
Well, what do you think?
Well, your entire reputation is built on giving the public the truth.
Well, what good is a reputation if you're too crippled to enjoy life? A beating like the one I took is quite a convincer.
Well, I wouldn't have thought that of you, Slim.
Well, you'd better listen to the broadcast.
Why didn't you contact me sooner, Slim?
Well, I passed out a couple of times before I could get myself to the road to walk away. When I finally got the strength, I called my wife and had her pick me up and drive me here to the studio.
I can't understand why someone didn't tell me.
Well, I took care that no one would recognize me. I didn't want it to get out that I was back.
Well, why not?
Well, my disappearance was on the air and in all the papers today. You don't think I'd let anyone scoop me on my return? No, so the first news of that will be when I go on the air in a moment.
I don't know if I'll ever understand reporters. Well, you'd get yourself killed for a piece of hot news and then write it up for St. Peter's Weekly.
The fact that somebody is so hot to get you to make a retraction would indicate that Bellicosi is either in this country or on the way here.
Uh-huh. That's how I see it. What do you want me to say tonight?
That's up to you.
Well, I don't mean about the retraction. I won't give that. I want to know if you have any objections to my openly defying Bellicosi.
You know what the consequences might be?
Another beating?
Maybe worse than that.
Well, do you mean that I'm on my own?
Not at all, Slim. We'll give you every protection. But just remember one thing. The advantage is always with the hunter.
Ah, that's a happy thought.
It's your problem, Slim. But you can be sure of this. If Bellicosi's around, Pat and I'll find him.
And maybe my talking up will help you, huh? Well, anyway, I figure that as a factual reporter, it's my duty to inform the public just as it's your duty to protect it.
Just keep on talking, Slim. You make me like you better and better.
Well, it's almost airtime, Dick, but I've got to talk to you about one more thing.
Shoot.
I couldn't tell you where I got my information about Bellicosi coming into the country because I was under oath not to. But I don't think that holds now. It's a girl named Molly Kuehl who told me.
Say, wasn't she a friend of Bellicosi's in the old days before he was deported?
Oh, he was out of his mind about her, but I don't think she ever liked him. Anyway, they tried to beat it out of me. I wouldn't tell. But this fellow Ringer, who was doing the slugging, mentioned her name, which means that they suspect her and that her life is in great danger.
Where does this girl live? We'll take her into protective custody.
Well, I don't know where she lives, nor how to get in touch with her. She wouldn't tell me.
Oh, fine. That's just
I have an idea, Slim. We may be able to save the girl.
How, Dick?
You've got to go on the air tonight and warn her of the danger and tell her to contact me. 5 minutes after that, we'll have her under protection.
Well, that's a wonderful idea, Dick. And she's sure to listen to the program because she knows I'll be talking about Bellicosi. I'll arrange a special phone line for you right now.
Good. And, Pat, call headquarters and get me a special squad. We're going to need it.
Stop walking up and down, Molly Kuehl. You might make me nervous.
For the last time, Bellicosi, get out of here.
You're not very hospitable after I come thousands of miles just to see you.
You could have saved yourself the trip.
Whether I could have or not remains to be seen. In any case, I think it was a somewhat unfriendly act for you to tip off Slim Chance that I was coming.
I did no such thing.
You're not a good liar, Molly Kuehl. I'm going to have to teach you a lesson.
How did you ever find out where I lived?
I had the boys keep an eye on you ever since I left the country 2 years ago. But let's not change the subject. I like you, Molly Kuehl, but I don't like what you've done to me. If Slim Chance doesn't deny that I'm in the country tonight on his radio show, I'm likely to lose a lot of money. And I couldn't buy you no more presents.
And I wouldn't have to throw any more of them into the garbage.
Turn the radio on. Slim Chance ought to be starting.
Turn it on yourself. All right. I'd forgotten what a big, brave caveman you are. Always ready to beat up a woman.
Force works with anyone, regardless of sex or age. Turn on the radio. You'll hear what a good beating did to help Slim Chance make up his mind.
Why didn't they put you in jail when they had their hands on you?
'Cause I'm too smart and too strong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your somewhat battered reporter, Slim Chance, here to point out to that fat gangster, Bellicosi, who is in this country illegally, as my cracked ribs will attest, that his thugs did a bad job. I can still talk. Is that the retraction you wanted, Bellicosi?
I'll kill him. I'll kill him.
And here is a most important announcement. Molly Kuehl, your life is in great danger. Call Dick Tracy here at this studio. You have an open line. The number is NAN 52884. Repeat, Molly Kuehl, your life is in great...
Wow. So you didn't have nothing to do with tipping Slim Chance off about me, huh? I'm going to enjoy what I'm going to do to you.
Put that gun down, Bellicosi.
Get on that phone. Call Tracy at NAN 52884. And tell him you're all right. That Slim Chance is a cheap report out after a lot of sensation. Hurry up and do what I say. And don't even start to give him your address. But say nothing but what I told you to.
Hello, this is Dick Tracy.
This is Molly Kuehl, Mr. Tracy. I'm all right. Slim Chance shouldn't have... Oh, dear heavens, help me! Help me!
What's your phone number?
In a moment, we'll return to Dick Tracy. You Tracy fans have probably heard the expression, life in the raw. Well, nowhere was life in the raw better exemplified than in the great Northwest during the days of the Klondike Gold Rush. That was country that, as the saying goes, separated the men from the boys. Well, each Saturday night on Challenge of the Yukon, you can enjoy exciting tales of adventure set in this rough wilderness untouched by refinements of civilization. Challenge of the Yukon is a colorful program broadcast on most of these same ABC stations. The stories are concerned with Sergeant Preston's fight to maintain law and order at a time when authority seemed to rest in each man's pistol holster. Representative of the small group of Northwest Mounted Police who braved the elements to track down ruthless criminals, Sergeant Preston is aided by his highly trained Eskimo lead dog, King. Although many of the action-packed dramatizations on Challenge of the Yukon deal with conflicts between men, there are variations, stories that revolve around wolves or bears and other animals of the Yukon. Don't miss Challenge of the Yukon, heard on most ABC stations tomorrow night. And now, back to Dick Tracy.
It's no use. The instrument's gone dead. But there was a shot, Pat.
Did you get a phone number?
No, but the beginning sounded something like "ma." Come on, Pat. Maybe it's not too late to get to her.
Yes, but maybe it is too late. And be sure to tune in Monday for The Adventures of Dick Tracy. Written for radio by John Ray and Everett S. Crosby, Dick Tracy is heard overseas through the Armed Forces Radio Service. And this is George Gunn speaking. Here's an invitation to you Tracy fans from ABC, an invitation to spend a series of Saturday afternoons with us. Every Saturday afternoon we bring you broadcasts of the great Metropolitan Opera, broadcast direct from New York's famous Metropolitan Opera House, a mecca for music lovers who come from all over the country to see this famous opera company. Yes, each week throughout the opera season, the Metropolitan Opera is brought directly to you, giving you a chance to hear many of your favorite works, such as Carmen, Lohengrin, the Magic Flute, Rosenkavalier, Rigoletto, and so forth. Don't miss Metropolitan Opera tomorrow afternoon. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.